Anyway, what's up? My name's D, and I'm trying to do this. Oh, I'm alive, baby. Shut up. I'm gonna let people filter in. Anyway, we were going talking about the LA protests and riots. Hold on one second. It's live, baby. I tried to record this a couple times. Guys, you know what? I should just be fired, frankly, because I might be the dumbest fuck ever. And it's okay to admit it. You know why it was off the audio? Which it should be on by now. Give me thumbs up. Give me boner eggplants in the chat, hearts in the chat. Yeah. All right, cool. I'm a fucking idiot. All right, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys because what I did was because I pulled this out of the stand, the microphone out of the stand, I clicked off on the microphone, and usually I'm not a professional. I've just been producing podcasts for like 4 years now. When your microphone's off, you don't have audio. That's just FYI. If you guys are ever trying to get into audio engineering, that should be the first thing they fucking talk about. You know what I mean? Absolute nightmare. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. I just wanted, so I'm off mute. Yeah, thank fucking Christ. First and foremost, I want to tell you guys, I appreciate the love you guys show Eyes On and stuff like that. Initially, I didn't want to be the, I don't want to be the host of this. I figured it would make more sense with Andy being the host because he's got a beautiful British accent. And it just turns out that I was going to be the host, and I'm now the wrangler of these guys. I really, really wanted to just be the producer of it, so I feel like I do a better job back of the house. And also, I sound like what it sounds like when, like if a sewer cap came to life, that's what it would sound like, and that's me. But I am enjoying doing the Eyes On with, Andy, Jason, and Mick. Absolute fucking legends. Super, super privileged, right? Like, I wasn't in the military. I wasn't in the intelligence community. So I looked up to these guys. I was a fan of these guys. And so to be able to do the podcast with them is pretty cool. And for them to, like, actually, like, listen when I speak, it's awesome. No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Very kind of you. Thank you. Besides like me turning off the microphone and not understanding how I did it, I respect it and I appreciate it. No, I didn't see the Dan Carlin thing. Dan Carlin's been getting kind of wild on Twitter, and he's been catching some shit ever since Trump got inaugurated and stuff like that. What's going on in LA is fucked up. That's what I wanted to talk about because I don't want to go until the weekend when the guys are available to talk about this stuff because who knows, probably some other breaking news would have happened as well. And it would have just been too convoluted. So I said, fuck it. Let's just, grip it and rip it. It's fucking crazy. I mean, you guys all saw what happened on Friday. ICE tried to make fucking raids on illegals. And it fucking didn't go great. I mean, they did arrest a handful of folks, maybe more. I think it's it's into the 100, I think, but hundreds. But people in the neighborhoods, obviously, because Paramount, California is a generally pretty Hispanic neighborhood. So understandably so, the folks in that neighborhood probably got upset. And, things spun out of control. No matter how you feel about immigration and stuff like that, it's been brutal. Yeah, no, listen, in terms of you should be able to protest even if it's something I don't even agree with. But the minute you get violent is when you get, you're going to get arrested, right? So I'm with it. I totally understand that point of view. What I don't get, first time National Guard and Marines, any kind of U.S. military's been deployed in a U.S. city without the governor's approval, at least since 1965. So you do run into some constitutional issues there, for sure. I mean, they're going to be beefing about that for the rest of eternity. Trump, what do you do? Title 10, which is not exactly the Insurrection Act, but not exactly it doesn't have much precedent in terms of happening on the regular. So you got Gavin Newsom who came out, freaked out. Understandably so. If I'm the governor of a state and I'm not requesting help from the National Guard, where isn't the governor, aren't they allowed to mobilize their own National Guard as well, but without the president? So for this to happen out of the gate, a bit sketch, let's be real. I mean, And, you know, I just hope it doesn't escalate to the point where it's like, you know, people getting fucking shot in the street and stuff like that more than it has. You've seen a couple, like the news reporter from Australia, she got hit in the head, in the leg with a rubber bullet and stuff like that. People are getting hurt. Hopefully this quells. I mean, that's my hope. I mean, I'm hearing from other people that this is just the start. You know, there are protests planned for New York, D.C., Atlanta, I think Chicago too, in the next few days. I hope it doesn't turn out like how some people are predicting, or like it'll eventually end up in martial law and this thing gets completely out of control. You know, that's my hope anyway. I think the Marines are still there. Are there? Yeah, really. Oh, I saw the driverless cars. That was fucking crazy. Yeah, I mean, I listen. If I listen, I'm gonna be real. Like, I think the president shouldn't be allowed to send National Guard, like federalize the California National Guard and send in active duty Marines into a city that has a pretty robust police force in the LAPD, a pretty robust state police force where I feel like they could probably deal with this. And, you know, the people on the ground know the best. I would assume the police chief or the commissioner, the mayor, and the governor is monitoring this like pretty fucking stringently and like, you know, minute to minute, if, you know. So I'm putting myself in that position. If I thought like, oh shit, things are getting completely out of hand, yeah, I'll ask the president to nationalize, or I think they could do it themselves, where they can mobilize their National Guard to like try and like calm the streets down. Also, the thing, you got to think of it like with these guardsmen, right? You're a guardsman. You're not like you're a professional soldier, but you're not. This isn't your 9 to 5, right? Like you're like a fucking lawyer or whatever, doing a regular job, and you get called up. It's pretty fucking scary if you're one of these guys, or even the Marines. Even if you're active duty, like you're on an American street. And I remember back in 2020 when they were spinning up the 82nd Airborne, Jack Murphy actually did a really good article about it, where there was talk internally of like, holy fuck, is this even legal that we're doing what we're doing? So I'm sure that these guys are thinking, the soldiers on the ground are thinking the same thing. I'm like, how couldn't you? You know, you're fucking gearing up, and it's like Americans. You're not in some fucking street in Iraq or in some, you know, poppy field in Afghanistan or something like that, or Syria, where, you know, so it's got to be a pretty frustrating, shocking kind of situation to be in, even if you are those soldiers. And at the same time, like the LAPD also released something that there's no real coordination between like local, state authorities, and also, uh, this is a lefty channel. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not I am a lefty, but the rest of the guys aren't lefties. So we talk about how it is, bro. I could have went hard on Trump, even harder than I just did. You pussy, Kim. Sorry, I apologize. No, I don't. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. It's I hope it doesn't fucking escalate more than it already has. I mean, it's already in a bad place for sure, and like just you know, Trump and Newsom like just going back and forth in the media does not fucking help whatsoever. It keeps inflaming shit. You got Stephen Miller there too, bugging out, which Elon Musk put his balls in Stephen Miller's mouth. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet. I think he deleted it, where something like, we're taking back America, and like Elon Musk wrote like, just like I'm taking your, like I took your wife, because there's a lot of speculation that Elon Musk is slamming Stephen Miller's wife. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I wonder what it's like if from the, like our allies' perspective, they see this shit going down in the U.S. and are like, oh my god, we thought they had their shit together. It's hilarious. Yeah, that's also a good point. Like they showed a bunch of They showed a bunch of like clips from last year when I think Biden was thinking about sending in the National Guard into Texas. Christy Nome, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, was freaking out, saying that this is like trampling over the Constitution if he sends the Guard in without the governor's approval or request, which exact same thing's happening right now. I just wish. I think the Constitution is a good piece of paper to live by, right? I think, the minute either side starts fucking with it and going beyond it is when they should be called out by one side or the other, And like, no matter how you feel about immigration, we need to figure out a way to stem the tide, stem the flow. But we also got to figure out a way to get people in here the right way, because like it or not, they're the backbone of the economy. They're the backbone of our fucking labor force. If they're gone, who's going to do the shit that American citizens don't want to do? I mean, that's just a fact. I don't want to go and be a demo guy in Manhattan and carry fucking rock around. Do you? For, $19 or $18 an hour, break your fucking back for 9 hours a day. I know plenty of rich guys, friends of mine, family of mine, who have successful businesses that they would not have successful businesses if it wasn't for immigrant labor. I'm not saying they're all illegal. They're not all illegal immigrants, but even the legal immigrants, like the guys with the tax ID who are doing the process and stuff like that. Also, I think the process should be more streamlined. Vet these people, make sure they're like legit, real people, like they're not fucking around, they're not criminals, and give them a path to citizenship, right? Get them paying taxes. I mean, illegal immigrants, I read this the other day. Illegal immigrants last year paid $100 billion in taxes. It's fucking crazy. I never knew that. But again, like if you're out there protesting, the minute you get violent, destroy property, whatever, loot, is the minute you should get arrested. Hopefully not super violently. Hopefully you're just arrested and booked. But there's probably 10,000 plus people there fucking protesting, right? So we always tend to look at like the most aggressive on both sides too. We always seem to like look at the most aggressive, most violent, and like kind of harp on that. And they should be pointed out and arrested and taken care of. But at the same time, the reason why people are protesting should also be acknowledged and, I guess, appreciated. Well, friend, dude's constantly worried about what our allies think. It's a domestic protest. Well, this is like it's called Eyes on Geopolitics. This channel, so it's like I always look at different. You got to look at different angles of everything. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like it, take a hike, my brother. Friend, I'm agreeing with you there in terms of the random South African farmers skipping the line in terms of the immigration. That's also a stunt too. Like it's just for theater, basically. That's so I'm just so's nationalizing the Guard or federalizing the Guard to go into California without Newsom's like request. But I just hope that like this theater doesn't turn into something that's like, beyond beyond. I don't want it to get to a place where we can't reel it back in. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it to become like hyper violent and like cops or American soldiers shooting American citizens, right? Because like if I was an illegal immigrant right now, I wouldn't be anywhere near these fucking protests, right? You're illegal. Like who knows what the fuck could happen to you? You get snatched in the street. So you got to assume, I'm gonna guesstimate that the majority of the protesters that are protesting right now, violently or peacefully, are likely American citizens, right? So like the minute you get like cops and army guy and soldiers just like opening up on citizens is bad news. And it takes like one bad apple really for it to like fucking cascade into like a shit show. So that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. Yeah, today I think they're planning or they're doing some protests today in New York, DC. I'm in New York now. I'm in Brooklyn. I'll see what's out there, but New York, DC, Chicago, and Atlanta. So I guess big cities. And again, if you want to protest, go ahead and protest, but do it peacefully. You know what I mean? Like the minute you get violent or you start breaking shit is the minute that you don't pass go and you don't collect $200. You know, you go right back to jail. So, and like think about it. I guess guardsmen are a little bit older, right? But like those Marines, those 700 Marines, they're probably like young guys too, right? They're probably 20 years old, standing around in a fucking American street. Marines have one fucking job, and that's to kill things, right? Like the three other hosts of the show are former Marines. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a bummer. It bums me out for sure. I mean, look how bad our Reed. Look how bad our immigration process is. We can't even get Terps who fought. Yeah, fought and died with us, U.S. citizen asylum. Yeah, and they also cut off that. I think they stopped the funding for like the Afghan evac stuff, which is a bummer. Yeah, the immigration process should be easier because, frankly, like we're gonna need bodies to do the labor, like we are, and like think about this, right? You're some kid, you're some dude living in Guatemala or somewhere in South or Central America. You take the risk, leaving your family, leaving everything you know behind to go to the United States. It can't be because your life in whatever South or Central American country is fucking dope, right? Like you're doing it for a reason. Like my dad came here for a reason from Greece. My grandfather on my mom's side came here for a reason from Greece. I know a ton of people like that as well. They came here for a better life. And I know Greek motherfuckers who came here illegally, crossed over the Canadian border. Eventually they got their citizenship and stuff like that. But they have turned into like wealthy business owners and things like that. So I think it's like, I think in the grand scheme of things, you're obviously going to get some bad apples. But in the grand scheme of things, people want to do better in their life. They want to take care of their family. Like they want to do what I or you want to do, right? We're all the same shit, basically. We just want to make it to the next step, do a little bit better. Maybe golf an extra day a month. Maybe buy that little thing that I couldn't afford before. Maybe get my kids through school and stuff like that. Get them into college. I know another cat, unbelievably hard worker. This guy is a fucking beast. From South America. He's been here, I want to say he's been here 25 years. He had kids here. His kids became doctor. One of his kids became a doctor. One of his kids became a lawyer. So I think obviously I'm talking general. This is obviously a general macro look at this. That they are a net benefit for the United States of America, bro. We are a country based, or all immigrants. Even the fucking WASPs from 200 years ago. Where the fuck do you think they came from? Yeah, so friend, you're right. I'm with you. Like I don't want people sneaking in here, whatever ISIS dude or whatever kind of bad actor, ISIS K or whoever, sneaking in here and like being a sleeper cell and stuff. But that's what we fucking pay the FBI and shit to do, right? Find these motherfuckers, get after it, right? And it's not going to be easy, right? Because even if they built the wall down south and stuff like that, motherfuckers are still going to get over here. It's a huge fucking border. So it's an incredibly complex issue that I don't think the theater that we're seeing right now, and unfortunately the violence and the arrests that we're seeing right now and the escalation will help fix whatsoever. I think it'll just make it fucking worse, unfortunately. Ruckin. I did construction for years. I'd rather work with an illegal from El Salvador than a native New Yorker. They're beasts and they're grateful. Right. Listen, brother, I'm a native New Yorker. You think I want to fucking do construction? No. My hands are soft, baby. I don't want to sit there and do it. I don't want to build a wall for 9 hours a day for $20 an hour. I'm a podcast producer, for fuck's sake. Good to have you. What's up? Word to your mom. Yeah, this is weird. This is fun. I was going to record this and like post like a quick 10, 15-minute video just like running down what's gone on. But I got so into my head that like I started talking about it, and I felt like I was trying to be like Jake fucking Tapper or some shit. And I was like, let's just do it live. Let's leave all the fuck ups in there. Let's have fun. Let's have a little bit of like back and forth too with the chat too, which is cool. This is way fucking better than like in the news today. LA protests day 6, Marines deployed. Like I don't want to be Anderson Cooper. I mean I do because he's a cutie, but I don't want to be like a TV presenter. Yeah, dude, listen, I used to work on roofs because my family, like friends of my, like family friends had construction companies and stuff like that. We're not, Americans who are born in America, for the most part, are not cut out for that shit. We're not cut out for that real deal labor. P.S. Who's going to cook your fucking food at restaurants? I owned a restaurant. Were my guys illegal? What I asked them for? I asked them for a number, their tax ID. They gave me a tax ID. I cut them checks. Money went to the federal government and the state government for taxes. I'm not getting a white kid from fucking Brooklyn to fucking come and do dishes or prep food for 8-9 hours a day. I'm not getting that kid. That kid ain't coming. Friend, knowing what you know about CIA from interviewing guests, would you join the CIA? Good question. I mean, the job's pretty sick. Obviously, if you're an operations officer and you're going around the world and you're, trying to run agents and spies. But from like what I've heard from like back, like offline conversations, is that it's an extremely political place to work and a kind of nightmare to work at. So like, I don't really do well in that sort of like hyper politicized corporate kind of culture. So I don't know if I would do it. Probably not. No. Yeah, DZH, you're right. I mean, it's jobs that most Americans do not want, right? What about Pink Panther? What about construction wages? They haven't gone up in 25 years because of illegal labor. I mean, I can only speak because I'm familiar with New York, and New York construction wages are pretty competitive. I'm not gonna lie, like I think so. Maybe across the country, it's probably lower for sure. Um, but I know guys, illegal immigrants who have worked here for 30 plus years who do make 6 figures. Um, but again, like that's New York specifically. Like the rest of the country, God knows what's going on in Nebraska, right? I don't know. Word to your moms. I'm in NYC building trains, and I'm born and raised here. If you're going to do construction, go Union. Yeah, listen, if you can land in the Union, fucking go for it for sure, right? Like you got that kind of like security there. But the problem is more and more, less and less like jobs are not union. It's like the percentage is getting smaller and smaller, especially in New York. Reed, you're in Manhattan now, bougie bastard. I joined the DZ. I joined the CIA in a heartbeat. Do they need operatives in Ukraine? I'm sure they do need operatives in Ukraine. But joining the CIA, I feel like it's pretty tough, right? Like you need to have your degree and you need to like be like top of your class kind of thing. Although I have heard that they do take people who are not like Ivy League people, which I think is the move. I think you need to get like less upper crust folks like Yale kids and more like regular college kids that like can kind of fit in a little bit more, right? Like cornbread kind of people. Like I think that's probably detrimental to like going into another country and trying to spy. Oh, I got you, Reed. Yeah, so I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. It's I get freaked out a little bit because people are talking about like this is a prelude to like martial law, like this is a test bed. because they are, listen, they are hitting a pretty liberal city in a liberal state, right? In terms of like upping the ice raids and stuff like that, and like trying to kind of go to reaction out of like the people there. It's tough, man. It's tough. There's got to be a better way. I mean, obviously you're talking about politicians, so they never make it fucking easy. But I say the move is like get like fucking 5 to 15 nerds into a fucking room, which they literally have that. Like they have the CBO, the GAO, like the Government Accountability Office or the Congressional Budget Office. Like those are the nonpartisan fucking nerds that go in and like do the math. Just listen to their fucking their suggestions. You'd think it'd be easy. Yeah, I did see that Trump said that Human, the ICE guy, should arrest Newsom. Newsom called him out too and said like, "Oh, come and arrest me, Tom." The guy's name's Tom Human, and then Trump truth socialed, saying that yeah, Tom should totally arrest this guy. It's just absolute fucking theater, and fucking so like stranger than fiction. Like it's unbelievable, really. I was paying $900 a month for a furnished bedroom in Washington Heights. It ain't cheap to live in the city, but if you look around, it's possible. Yeah, yeah, you got to just be willing, like you said, like roommates, stuff like that. DZ, I'm already in Ukraine, but I only have a college education. Guess I'm not CIA. Bro, are you Ukrainian? DZ? If you're Ukrainian, hit up fucking Budanov, man. Go to the SBU headquarters and be like, bro, I'm ready. Let's go. Or I guess you could probably go to like the U.S. embassy and just be like, hey guys, I'm here to help. Let me know. I feel like if you really want to get into a fight and you're in Ukraine right now, it's not that tough. Ruckin, you're right. It's theater until it's not. We're 4 months in. I agree with you. It's theater until people start getting shot up by the cops and the army and stuff like that. Then we're talking fucking scary. The DC parade, I mean, it's a jerk off contest, right? Like the military parade thing. Also, you do know that I have noticed, like in the news and on Twitter and stuff like that, a ton of people are like, it's just like the pictures are really scary, right? You see a bunch of tanks coming in through train into DC. So like, what's Trump doing? He's doing what's going on in LA. He's gonna try and do it in other cities. He's gonna try and do it in DC with this parade and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't think he's that smart, frankly. No offense to the Trump fans out there. Um, I think he's just really excited about his military parade and like his like celebration to himself. So I don't think it's like this massive like kind of conspiracy. Maybe some folks in his administration, Stephen Miller and the like, are probably hoping for this and are kind of angling and scheming. But I think Trump's pretty simple guy. It's pretty like worship me and my parade's gonna be sick, just like how Putin's and Xi Jinping's and Kim Jong Un's are sick. Like mine's gonna be awesome, really sick because we're the United States and we have like all the cool stuff. I'm gonna be real. Not to say that there aren't maniacs in that administration. I got nothing else, guys. This was cool though. Maybe we'll do this a little bit more often. I'm so glad I went live rather than did a fucking pre-made 10-minute video because I was getting so frustrated. I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like stopping myself because I can't speak right, like perfectly. Bro, Jogan, what do you mean? 45 million optionally spent in a time of need. Are you talking about for the parade? Yeah, I'm with you. It's a waste of money for sure. I mean, but you know, Doge, I guess, fucking skip that one. Um, yeah, it's just like an app. It's like a jerk off. It's a stroke off fest. Everybody, wow, rah rah, we're so great. Also, while the protests and these and riots and National Guard is deployed in a major U.S. city, not exactly great optics. DZ, get in there, bro. Hit up Budanov, bro. Budanov? Everyone's sucking that guy's cock. The head of the SBU. Hit him up, bro. Yeah, I saw that. They're selling it as the Army's 250th birthday. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I get it. But at 200, did we have like a parade with like all of our tanks and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. It seems a bit self-indulgent. How do you think Russia would react if Ukraine wins? I don't know. I mean, Ukraine wins. You think Ukraine could win? I don't know if they could win. Like push Russia out and win the war. What does even winning the war look like for them now? Trump is on the record 2 days ago saying we'll have the military everywhere. Yeah, that's scary, bro. That's fucking crazy. Because you know, I like the Constitution as much as the next guy, right? Like I think it's a pretty solid piece of paper for the most part. And if this was going down with Biden or Obama or any Democrat, or let's say Kamala won and she did this, you know, the right wing would be fucking blowing a gasket at this point. Where to your mom? July 4th, 1976 was a huge celebration here in NYC. No, I feel the bicentennial I get was a huge thing, but did they have like a military parade is what I'm saying. I want to go back to that question about how do you think Russia would react if Ukraine wins? I don't know how Ukraine wins, right? Like what's a win for Ukraine, right? Like going into Russia and like killing Putin? Like no, they're never going to do that. They're going to have trouble even getting the Russians out of the occupied territories right now. So I think Putin can't let this end. I think he's been at it for so long now that he can't lose face by like calling for a ceasefire, having a ceasefire, and then being stuck in Donbass basically and taking Crimea. You know, it would look super bad, and it'd be a huge blemish on like his legacy. And you know that's what this whole thing was. He's legacy shopping, and he has been. I just hope Hegseth doesn't have our military doing goofy leg kicks. That's funny. Marines do lead the way. And if you guys haven't noticed, I got 3 Marines as co-hosts, okay? Mix of ex-Marine. Andy's an ex-Marine. Jason's an ex-Marine as well. So we're definitely showing love, an inordinate amount of love to Marines on Eyes on Geopolitics. Yeah, so that's all I got. We're shooting a show tomorrow, not for Eyes On, but for Team House. Intel guy named Carlos Garcia in studio, so make sure you check that out. I'll be out Friday. A win for Ukraine would be emerging from the war having only lost Donbass. I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. I think also a win would probably be like, honestly, frankly, a security guarantee of some sort. Maybe not joining NATO, but making it super clear to Russia that like you fuck around again and it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a fucking issue for you. I can't stand Andy. Come on, Andy's the man, bro. Andy's good people. I don't know if Andy's a plank owner of MARSOC, but I don't know. I have to ask him. But he was like, he commanded the Joint Terrorism Task Force in Iraq in 2014 when they were, or 15 when they were fighting ISIS and stuff like that. He was like the big boss there, full bird colonel, fucking ISIS up. But I don't know if he's a plank owner. Possibly, I have no idea. D, find another SOT Ada interview. I love the interview with Clayton Jensen. Yeah, Clayton was awesome. That was a cool interview for sure. He had some fucking crazy stories. You guys should check that out if you haven't yet. But we just had a MARSOC guy on, Jonathan Hackett. I'm almost sure he was like similar to Assad A, but from MARSOC. He had a really wild career because he was attached to the NSA. Then he was attached to DIA. He became like a defense attaché. He did a lot of signal stuff in MARSOC. The recent episode with the full panel of vibes felt off. Did Jason and Indy get into an argument off camera? No, they did not. No. What would they argue about? No. Yeah, so I can't wait to listen to that one. Cool. Yeah, Jonathan was awesome. I'm gonna have Jonathan back. I'm probably might have him on Eyes On as well because that book he did about Iran is pretty fucking interesting. And he did another really good book about irregular warfare. So I think he'd be perfect guest for Eyes On as well. I think we're also gonna have him back on the Team House sometime in September because that's when his book is the actual Iran book is coming out. I definitely want to have him on Eyes On because he seems to like really fucking know his shit. So he's a great guy, really nice dude. The thing that bugged me out, I made a clip for it, a short for it, was how like what he learned in the NSA, where like they take from like satellite imagery and stuff like that, they analyze the ground, reproduce like the type of soil that's in a certain area that they're trying to put like some kind of SIGINT in. They create like a rock or whatever and like just throw it out of a plane in the area they want, and it's a fucking listening device like that's made of like the same exact kind of soil of the area. Unbelievable. Pretty gnarly shit. I mean, what else? Are you guys like checking Twitter like religiously like I do? Like hoping there isn't like a fucking shootout in LA? Oh, the other thing too that no one's really been talking about, but I follow a couple of China analysts, is that China just recently, yesterday, deployed both operational aircraft carrier groups simultaneously in the Western Pacific for the first time ever. Um, they had been together last year for like a little bit for a few days, but then they went back to port, and then just recently, both carriers deployed in the Western Pacific for the first time. So China kind of like putting their dicks on the table, showing everybody that girth. Yeah, there's a really good China analyst. He's really on top of like Chinese like a military movement. His name is Ian Ellis. Ian Ellis Jones at Ian Ellis Jones on Twitter. He's really like he's really on top of this shit. He's a great follow. Another good follow if you're interested in like China stuff. Former team house guest. He's a former captain of a nuclear submarine in the U.S. Navy. Thomas Sugart, fucking awesome too. I want to have him on Eyes On as well because he is an absolute China expert. This is what he does like all day. Yeah, there's so many fucking people I want to have on like as guests. Not to do so much like topical news, but to do like more strategic kind of like geopolitical stuff. You should get John Robb on Team House. Who's John Robb? Could you interview a guy named Morton Storm? Seen and did the documentary. What's the story? I don't know. Maybe if he fits. Have you been following the AQ stuff going down in Africa? Not as much as I'd like to. We could probably use a guest like that too, who's an expert on that. Word to your mom, we won't be able to do shit, say or do shit if China moves on Taiwan. And who are we to even try to interfere in the first place? Yeah, it's sketchy, bro. It's that whole situation's a fucking problem too. I mean, listen, China's got to be taking notes about what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, and how like the world community reacts. So I'm assuming if like that were to happen in Taiwan, where they went after Taiwan and try to take it back over, Japan, South Korea, the area, Philippines will come to, at the minimum, I would assume, at least support for where like they're giving a ton of weapons and stuff like that. That kind of support. But yeah, China's a totally different fucking animal, right? Like we kind of have figured out that Russia's military is a paper tiger. I don't know if that's the case for the Chinese. The only thing that's not going for them that's not going for them is none of their guys are really combat tested, which I think is important, is like a big, could play a part. I don't know if it's huge. Morton Storm is a Danish guy who worked with the CIA. He was almost drone striked by the CIA. He worked for the CIA like what, as an agent, like as like a asset. Also where? I'm guessing in Afghanistan or somewhere. Well, I mean, like, listen to quote Andy talking about aircraft carriers. Like, let's say China does go after Taiwan, and we ship in a couple aircraft carriers there. We're gonna lose a couple aircraft carriers if we really wanted to fucking go at it with them kinetically. I can't see us getting out of this unscathed, right? Like, I'm sure if we were to go toe to toe with China, we would eventually win, but at like what cost? Like losing 10,000 sailors. If that were to happen, I couldn't, just imagine how like the populace here would react, right? Like we would freak the fuck out. Um, so I hope it doesn't fucking happen, frankly. Yeah, I'm gonna get Thomas on Thomas Sugar. He was fucking awesome. He really knows the deal. He'd be a great episode. Maybe a solo episode, me and him, or me, him, Andy, or like an extra person, but instead of like because usually the way it's turned out now with Eyes On is like usually when we have a full crew on the weekends, we'll talk about the news of like what's popping, really popping off that weekend or that day. And I want to, perfect world, I want to do that one with the full crew, and then another one during the week where we can speak to like an interview, an expert about a specific strategic conflict, right? Where it's not like we're not beholden to like the breaking news. Frisco shows game theory doesn't play much of a role with the current administration. I don't disagree with you there. Yeah, because you can't really predict what the fuck they're gonna do, frankly. China also lacks an NCO corps in its mandatory service army. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure they have issues there too. I mean, everyone talks about like their rocket forces being like really formidable, but again, last year, I don't know if you guys read that story about like like a ton of corruption in there, and they had like a big purge in the rocket forces, and the rocket forces are basically like their main defense against our aircraft carriers, right? That's their standoff stuff. So again, but they're spending so much fucking money, dude. Like, I don't think we should underestimate China and what they're able to do. Because I saw, so this is like another like segue, but it has to do with China and their like industrial capability. I follow a couple automotive YouTubers, and a couple of them went out to Anchorage, Alaska, where like a couple of Chinese, like a handful of Chinese electric car companies brought cars that they make, um, and these weren't like, you assume like, oh, it's manufactured in China, it's like a cheap piece of shit, right? These cars were like super nice, super well made, like incredible, like really good, like leather, and like everything was like pretty tip top, and the prices were like, I would say anywhere from like 30 to 60% less than like American electric cars. And these cars are, mind you, these cars are illegal to be sold in America, right? Because it would just undermine our entire fucking automotive industry. Getting cars for like 30 to 50% cheaper that are like quality. So like I saw this video and I was looking at these cars, and these YouTubers were like, "Holy shit, these cars are super nice." So like I can't sleep on the Chinese manufacturing. I'm sure a lot of it's dog shit for sure, but they have to have quality stuff that they make. Dimitri, you need to get a retired F-14 Tomcat REO. To chat about the carriers. He would beg to differ with Andy. Ward is a great YouTube client. Chan. Yeah, Ward's been on Team House before, so you can check out one of the interview we had. Ward and Jack Murphy go way back. Ward's a great guy too, really cool dude. I'd love to have him on here. I think he'd be great too. Uh, Again with the aircraft carriers, I don't know, man. Like, Is it worth $15 billion? I don't know. Because like even if our fighters that come off the aircraft carrier, if they don't have the range, what's really the point? Um, I would say aircraft carriers. We had Alex Hollings on one day, and he mentioned it. Like aircraft carriers' real main job, I think, for the future will be projection of power in areas where that are permissible, like we saw in like the Red Sea, Iranian, Persian Gulf, areas like that, right? Mediterranean, like off Israel. Um, I think that's kind of where their their strength is because like if we were in a real deal fight with China, we're losing a couple carriers. We'll fucking smoke China, but we're losing a couple carriers. That's my guess. I have no fucking. I'm an idiot, but China manufacturing being bad is sort of a meme. Jack Devine has a paper that he talks about how crucial it is for China it is to steal American technology to keep up. Yeah, that too. I mean, listen, you could save a lot of money when you don't have to spend it on research and development, right? You could just steal the IP. So, I mean, look what they did with DeepSeek, right? Like the large LLM, like the Chat GPT killer thing. More than likely there's some chirps and rumors that it was stolen, but I mean, who the fuck knows? While we spent 20 years fighting the GWAT, China figured out how to manufacture everything and make themselves too vital to international trade. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We spent what 7-8 trillion on GWAT, which I'm not saying that GWAT was like a waste, but I obviously Iraq was a fucking waste, and like everyone admits it. And probably half of Afghanistan. We could have probably kept 15, 20,000 soft guys and contractors in Afghanistan, gone after AQ, schwack Osama and get the fuck out of Dodge. Not worry about fucking building a fucking democracy in Afghanistan, which has never been fucking tamed in the last fucking millennia. I feel like a cargo ship with like 1,000 drones seems like a more fun idea. I mean, dude, what's to stop China, who's got like massive fucking maritime, like it's not a military navy, but they have thousands of ships to like pull the same thing that Ukraine pulled with the trucks and the drones on a cargo ship, and just send hundreds, if not 1,000, mini drones packed with some munitions to hit an aircraft carrier, right? Like we don't have that many fucking SM-6s to stop all that shit. Or Sea-Wiz to stop all that stuff if it's like oversaturated. Yeah, it's almost like we stopped. I mean, you've seen like we stopped kind of like building for the future and modernizing the military, because you see like even China's got to jump on the 6th gen stuff. Like those are real deal demonstrators. Like they posted the J36 and the J50. Those are real deal, right? Where's ours? Sure, supposedly there was a demonstrator that flew like 3 or 4 years ago, but in terms of like how many years we are to fielding a 6th generation fighter, or then an air dominance fighter, I don't know. Yeah, friend. I mean, Morton Storm. I'm gonna write his name down and look him up. No promises, but I'll look him up. Word to your mom, their maritime fleet, China's, is required by law to be dual use, so even their civilian fleet can be mobilized for conflict. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Also, think about our shipbuilding is fucking. We build like 3 ships a year. China's fucking banging out like 50. That's like a real problem. But again, like I don't see us really going toe to toe with China, bro. They need us and we need them. It's like a fucking, it's like this toxic relationship you just can't get out of. Ryan McBeth's cool. I like his videos. He's fun. I'm gonna get Chris Cappy on here too. Cap's a good dude, solid guy, 10 out of 10. Yeah, there's so many people to do. Like I gotta start like getting these motherfuckers on here. But Ryan McBeth is solid. He knows his shit. All right, guys, listen. That's it. I got to pee so bad. I've had to pee for like 10 minutes. Cappy's the man. We have an interview with Cappy on Team House as well, so check that out on Team House. Probably happened like 4, 5, 6 months ago. John Robb, Brave New World. He called all the drone for... And there are rumors that Chris Cappy, who just started his new channel, left Task and Purpose about a month and a half ago, started his new channel. Check him out, Cappy Army. I'm sure you guys are subscribed. We'll be starting a podcast. And somebody, this guy, is going to be producing it. So, very exciting. Reed, I wonder if U.S. weapons manufacturing will transition to cheaper drones and regular munitions rather than producing fleets of $100 million vehicles. I hope you're right, too. They need that in their bag, right? You need to have that in the bag. I'm not saying don't get, stop making the destroyers or, like, the big, scary 5th gen and 6th gen fighters and shit like that, but you need to have that in your bag, right? Like the mobile, smaller drones that can fuck shit up because it obviously works. Reed, you're a fucking gentleman and a scholar, bro. That's insane how much you just gave. Thank you for that. Thank you for the show. Love the weekly pods. Reed, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I did see that. Again, Reed, you're a fucking gentleman. Ruckin, OAF Nation just published that German intel says Russia is brainstorming extending provocations into the Balkans. Yeah, I saw something about Estonia. Bro, I don't know. Like, they fucking struggling, these guys in Russia. Like, they really want that kind of smoke. Estonia's in NATO. I think that was like a report saying, like, oh, NATO really won't invoke Article 5. I think Poland, for sure. I think a lot of those small countries, Finland, Sweden, Germany, the really close countries to Russia, are fucking itching. I think Poland's fucking itching. Like, they're like, you guys want this? Like, we'll fucking give it to you. Poland's no joke. And we need them. Like, they're a big, big, huge backstop in terms of, like, stifling Russia. As obviously as Ukraine is, Ukraine's really putting their dick on the table and giving it to those fuckers. Revolutions in combat arms occur based on necessity. Totally true. I agree. Yeah, that's fair. Reed, again, it's where I get my weekly info. Reed, absolute champion. A god among insects, my friend. Thank you. Very kind of you. You did not have to do that, but thank you. Yeah, Poland's no fucking joke, bro. They want the smoke. Jason Lyons in the chat. Give some thumbs up and hearts in the chat for Jason Lyons. I'm giving some hearts in the chat. Yeah, Latvia, Georgia. Yeah, listen, I understand why they want to be ready for, like, if Russia were to try and go into Estonia or any of those small Baltics. But you think Russia really wants that smoke, bro? I don't know. The Ukrainians are fucking their shit up. Even though the Russians are fucking scumbags and they're attacking, like, civilian targets and stuff like that. Like, Ukraine's no fucking joke, bro. They're giving it to them. Bro, go piss. I got to pee so bad. Guys, I want to thank you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know you guys probably are already. Reed, again, you're a fucking champion. Really appreciate that donation. Just stay safe out there. You know what I mean? If you're going to go to a protest, don't be violent. You know what I mean? Tell them how you feel, but don't break any windows or fucking punch a cop or anything. Unless he punches you, I guess. Don't do that either. Don't do that either. Refrain from violence is my message to you guys. How the fuck do I turn this off? I'll figure it out. I'm a producer after all. Guys, peace and love. Very much appreciate it. Stay tuned. Later this week, we're going to have the full crew here talking about real stuff, not just nonsense. I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time. And don't forget the Team House. Check out the Team House.